Title: Galactic Council Kills Human Envoy. Earth's Answer: Erase them all. The Galactic Council chamber was built to inspire awe. Suspended in orbit above a blue-white star, it shone with endless corridors of light and glass, where the envoys of hundreds of species gathered to discuss peace, trade, and law. Yet beneath its gleaming beauty hid centuries of arrogance. The Council saw itself as the moral compass of the galaxy, its decisions final, its words law. Humanity had once respected that authority. Until today. The human envoy, Admiral John Mercer, had walked into the chamber wearing the insignia of the United Earth Alliance. He came in peace, as he had dozens of times before. The purpose of his visit was simple: to negotiate the release of a colony seized by the Council after a false accusation of war crimes. Humanity had expanded fast, colonizing systems no one else wanted, building worlds from dust. But their independence, their refusal to kneel, had made them a threat. As Mercer stood before the Council's circle of shimmering thrones, he spoke with calm conviction. "Earth seeks no war," he said, "but we will not submit to false justice. Return our people, and we will return our friendship." The Council speaker, a being of crystalline form named Vethar, replied in a cold, echoing tone. "Your kind spreads like a virus. You take what is not yours. You call yourselves builders, yet leave ashes behind. The Council's verdict is final. Humanity's presence in the outer rim is hereby condemned." Then, without warning, the chamber's energy field shifted. A beam of searing light struck Mercer through the chest. His body collapsed, his voice silenced. The Council called it an act of order, a necessary conclusion. The message reached Earth within hours. Across every continent, transmission screens flickered to life, showing the moment Mercer fell. There was no debate, no confusion. Humanity had been betrayed. The President stood before a silent crowd in Geneva. Behind her, the banner of the United Earth Alliance waved not as a symbol of peace but of resolve. Her words were calm and steady. They believed killing one man would silence billions. They were wrong. "We will not plead. We will not ask. We will answer." The fleets mobilized. From the shipyards of Luna to the orbital forges of Titan, thousands of vessels came alive. The dauntless Iron Rain and Liberty's Edge, names whispered across generations, rose from their docks. Humanity had prepared for this day long before it came. They had studied every Council fleet formation, every known alien defense system. They had learned, adapted, and improved. When the first Earth fleet arrived at the Council's border, they did not announce themselves. They came through the dark of space, their engines silent, their weapons cold until the moment they fired. The first system to fall was Varnus, a Council stronghold that had never known invasion. The orbital platforms lasted 9 minutes. The Council, stunned, convened an emergency meeting. The speaker demanded unity. "Humanity has lost its mind," he declared. "They must be brought to heel." Yet the words sounded hollow. Fear spread among the delegates as reports came in. Fleet after fleet gone silent, planets burning, and communication lines collapsing under human cyber assaults. The humans did not seek to occupy. They came to erase. Every system that had voted for the execution of their envoy became a target. Drones darkened the skies, ships blocked the stars, and every broadcast carried a single message from the human flagship Resolute. "You ended the voice of peace. Now you will hear the voice of consequence." The alien races who had once mocked human stubbornness now watched in disbelief. They had underestimated how humans fought, not for power but for their own. Every battle recorded the same pattern. Humans refused surrender, refused retreat. They fought with precision but also fury, driven not by conquest but by the simple, unbreakable will to protect what was theirs. On the Council's central world, panic turned to desperation. The great defensive network known as the Halo Shield activated, stretching across orbit like a wall of light. It had been said no weapon could pierce it. The Council believed they were safe. They were wrong again. From deep within Sol's military command, a message pulsed through the quantum relays. Project Nemesis, initiate. Moments later, a massive structure emerged from the void near the Council's home star. It was unlike anything seen before, a fortress ship kilometers long wrapped in layers of reactive armor and powered by a sun core reactor. It bore no emblem, no markings, only a single name across its hull: Retribution. The Council's fleets attacked in panic. Thousands of ships opened fire, turning the void into a sea of light. The retribution didn't flinch. Its hull absorbed, deflected, and returned the energy 100-fold. With one command, its forward cannons fired. The beam was silent, but its result was not. Entire battle groups disintegrated. On the surface of the council world, the delegates looked up at the sky as the shield began to glow, then crack. The great halo, their ultimate defense, shattered like glass. In its reflection, they saw the truth. They had built their empire on fear, and now fear had returned to claim them. The human fleet surrounded the planet, engines burning white against the black. A transmission was sent. This is the United Earth Alliance. You executed our envoy. You silenced peace. Now the council itself will be silenced. The bombardment began. It was not chaos. It was measured, controlled, exact. Target by target, the weapons found their mark. The council's chambers crumbled under the strike of kinetic rods. The great archives of law and order dissolved into flame, and when the last tower fell, the fleet pulled back. Not to gloat, not to conquer, but because their purpose was complete. Across the galaxy, silence followed. Worlds once loyal to the council sent messages of surrender or plea. Humanity answered none. They had no interest in ruling others. Their message was already written in the stars. Weeks later, aboard the Resolute, Admiral Elena Price looked out at the fading light of the council's world. Around her, the crew was quiet. Victory had been absolute, yet none celebrated. They thought killing one of us would end the talks, she said softly. They never understood. When they killed him, they united us all. Reports came in of scattered resistance, remnants of the council trying to rebuild. Earth's fleets didn't pursue them. The humans left them to remember what had been lost. To them, the war was not about dominance. It was about justice, and justice once done needed no repetition. In the centuries that followed, the story became legend. The phrase "erase them all" was whispered not as a threat, but as a warning written in every galactic history archive. It meant, never awaken humanity's wrath. Explorers from distant systems would visit the ruins of the council world, its shattered halls still orbiting a dimmed star. They would find inscriptions left by human soldiers carved into broken stone. We wanted peace. You chose war. Remember this, and remember they did. The younger civilizations that rose after the council's fall approached humanity with caution but also respect. They called them the Guardians of Sol, the Silent Defenders, the race that ended empires. Yet on Earth, life returned to normal. Cities rebuilt, children grew, and the skies once again filled with light from the colonies. Humanity did not boast of what it had done. They moved forward, wiser and quieter, knowing what they were capable of and hoping never to show it again. Far above the rebuilt orbital docks, the Retribution drifted in silence, its guns now cold, its hull dark. It was no longer a weapon, but a monument, a reminder of what happens when peace is taken for weakness. The stars around Sol burned brighter that year, as if the universe itself remembered. The Galactic Council had once called humanity reckless, unpredictable, dangerous. In the end, they were right. But they had forgotten the most important truth. Humans were not conquerors. They were survivors. And when survival was threatened, they became something unstoppable. No allies came to their side. No other race offered support or comfort. Humanity stood alone, as it always had. Yet alone, they had brought the most powerful coalition in history to its knees. The galaxy would rebuild, slowly and carefully, whispering the same lesson across generations. Never again would they take lightly the species that came from the small blue planet near a yellow sun, because when provoked, when cornered, when betrayed, humanity's response would forever echo in the void. You took one of ours. We erased you all.